Thank you, brother. Again, we are happy to be on this virtual teleconference. To know who is on this conference this evening, we will do a brief moment of self-introduction of all of you who are participating, who are listed as participants on this teleconference this evening. We can do our self-introduction now, and after that, we'll get down to the poems and essays by Musu Haddad. So anyone can go first with the self-introduction. Anybody can go first.
Basiki Kone.
Okay, welcome, Brother Kone.
Dennis Jar.
Okay, welcome, Brother Dennis Jar.
Yancey here from Atlanta, Georgia.
Welcome, my brother.
Lauren Zuma from Maryland.
Say that again, please.
Lauren Zuma from Maryland.
Oh, Lawrence. Okay, welcome, buddy.
Okay.
This is Stephanie Horton, present.
Stephanie
Horton.
Horton. Okay. Are you one of the participants?
No, but I was invited to call in by Brother Martin Toe.
Okay. So, welcome.
Thank you.
This is Dr. Barton Kula. I'm just going to be listening. I'm not going to be contributing anything.
This is Nagbe. Okay, Moses Nagbe.
Welcome, Prof.
Master Washington.
Welcome, Sis Washington.
Jis Yaka Kone from Sacramento, California.
Welcome, Brother Kone. Glad to hear from you.
Thank you.
This is Ray Mark.
Let's do that again. What was it, Ray who?
Ray Martin Toe.
Oh, okay, Brother Toe. Welcome.
James Kokolo Fatukwe from Minnesota.
Welcome, Brother Kokolo Fatukwe. Who else?
Gary Wilson from Upper Darby, Pennsylvania.
Welcome, Brother Wilson.
Harrison was Jabba in Pennsylvania.
Say that again, please.
Harrison was Jabba, listener from Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay, welcome, sir. Welcome.
Rufina Dapo.
Welcome, Sis Rufina. There's some noise or sound in the background. Anybody, would you please mute that a little bit so that we can hear each other? Welcome, Sis Rufina. Is there anybody else? What was that, sir?
Sir Dave Jar.
Oh, okay. Welcome, sir. Welcome, Brother Jar. Is there anybody else who has not announced his or her name yet?
Mohammed Dollar, a listener from Minnesota.
Welcome, Brother Dollar. Anybody else?
Did you get my name?
Seyon Yamle, listener from Minnesota, Brooklyn Park.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Barton Kula?
Say Martin Kula?
Bartum, Dr. Kula from Atlanta, Georgia. Bartum,
oh, welcome, Dr. Kula. Welcome.
Yes.
Do we still have somebody left?
Marian Haddad, Musu's sister from Texas.
Oh, welcome, my dear. Welcome.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Kafumba Kraman, the host, the producer, and the moderator of the LIBERIAN Diaspora Forum in Minnesota.
Okay. We, again, are glad that we have all gathered on this virtual teleconference. My name is Musu Haddad, and I'm moderating.
I'm Keita from Pennsylvania, Philadelphia.
I'm Keita. Welcome, Brother Keita.
Yes.
Okay, anybody else so that we go ahead? Is there anybody else? Okay, we will continue with the program this evening. We have an impressive list of participants who are going to be reflecting on Musu's work in terms of her poems and essays and her reflection, her lifestyle, her life on earth with us, as well as looking and reflecting on the random thoughts as she wrote on her blog. So this evening, I am glad that each of you have come. I didn't hear Brother Gibson Jeru. So far, we have most of the participants here. I didn't hear Brother Joseph Batwa, Brother Joseph Ted, Annabelle Mapu. I'm not sure I heard her name. But we'll go ahead anyhow. If they come while we are on the program, we can allow them to participate. So we want to begin right now with the welcome remarks by Brother Nafasiki Kone.
All right, brothers and sisters, colleagues, professional colleagues here present. We have gathered here tonight to celebrate the life and work of our colleague, Musu Haddad. I wish Musu was here to hear all of the praises for her work. But unfortunately, she's not here. And all of you guys that have taken your time to be here, we say welcome. It is our hope that we can have a very fruitful discussion tonight, and hope too that this discussion tonight will generate other discussion in the future, so that those of us in creative works, whether we are journalists, writer, we shouldn't just wait for someone to die before we say, all the good things about the works they are doing. So, to cut long matter short, we just welcome every one of you, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Kone. I was reflective enough that we should not wait to have somebody passing from our ranks and file before we gather. Give flowers to whom flowers are due. Thank you for your remarks. We want to continue now. We will begin with selected poems and essays by Musu Haddad. We have 4 persons lined up for this aspect. So far, I don't know if Ophelia is on the line or Bernice Mordoba is on the line. I didn't hear the names. If you are on, please state that you are on. If not, we will start with Fasikwe and then go to Brother Dennis Jar, since these are the 2 persons who so far announced themselves. Without much ado, Brother Fasikwe, would you please get the ball rolling by going on the Tide of Besinu? It's a poem written by the late Musu Haddad. It's yours, Brother Fasikwe.
Thank you, Pastor, Mr. Moderator. This poem is about Benesu. Benesu is a river on the Vanjama Highway in the town of Konya, where Musu was born. This is where they spent their days swimming, bathing, and washing laundry. So I am going to begin reading the poem. It is titled The Tide of Benesu. It was posted March 28, 2012 on her blog. The Tide of Benesu. Can I say she was a river or a creek? With a little tide, it ran freely. It welcomed me always for a ride, upstream or downstream. We were a beautiful team. She waited on me always, took me on her arms for a ride, upstream, downstream, for a ride. Against the wing and deep bottom and against beautiful fish. The last month of clothes, she did sing as I watch and watch. Bundles and bundles of laundry. Without a grain, she rocked me, and then her thighs wrenched my laundry. She then took me for a long ride. Then one day, waved by to my Benesu for a journey miles and miles away. Thinking about my beautiful Benesu, years later, I came back, called out to my Benazir and called. She was silent. I stood and looked down further. Still weak, brutally bruised, or feeble, body, arms frail. I walked in tears to my Benazir. Her arms were locked, unmovable. Her thighs chained against letters. I sat on her side and cried. That was the end. The story behind this. Hello.
Go ahead, Brother Fassi.
Hello. Yeah, that was the end of the poem. But the story behind the poem is that most of our rivers nowadays in Liberia have been turned into dump sites. People are throwing their garbages in the rivers. So there's a new thing, the war that came along with the war. Maybe just 2 days ago, somewhere in Unification Town, a superintendent talked about the B River, and there they are again dumping dirt in the river.
Inshallah. Thank you very much.
First of all, please, we're getting some feedback from the background, and it's going to be this. So please be a little quiet so that we can have the best of time on this virtual teleconference, so that we can hear each other clearly, and then be able to contribute when the time comes for each of us to contribute. So please, let's minimize the disturbance in the background. And thank you very much for your cooperation. So Brother Fassi, please go ahead and conclude.
Okay. Like I said, that's the sad state of most of our rivers we got in Liberia. And Musu, being so closely connected to the land, to nature, including the ecosystem, this is our way of trying to protect and to advocate for nature, so that mankind cannot continue to be cruel to nature. So I hope hereafter each one of us should think about what we can do in our power to change how our people have become to nature in our country. That's all I wanted to add. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brother Fassi Kwe, for the background to this poem. We appreciate that brief background. We will continue. I will go straight to Brother Dennis Jah again, because I did not hear Ophelia or Sis Moluba announcing themselves, so I assume they are not on the line. So we'll go to Brother Dennis Jah, who is going to also reflect on an essay by Musu Haddad. Brother Dennis Jah, is all yours.
Thank you very much. On Saturday, July 15, 2006, Musu wrote an essay on her blog, Eye on Issues, and the title is The Impact of Conflict on Globalization, a Look at the Middle East. It's a 5-page essay, and I'm not going to be reading everything. I'm just going to be summarizing the major points.
Okay.
The impact of conflict on globalization, a look at the Middle East. The fiery Middle East crisis has escalated again as Israel and Hezbollah trade fire. In the current battle, echoes of the older conflict continue to ring in the flaming stones and rapid bursts of gunfires and explosives. An understanding of the conflict's history cannot reverse decades of mistrust and animosity among groups involved and persons associated with the conflict in the region. The Middle East has been a site of conflict and land sanctified to Jews, Muslims, Christians, and other religious groups for many years. Despite involving a relatively small land area and large number of casualties, the Middle East conflict has been the focus of worldwide media organizations in the world, worldwide media and diplomatic attention for decades. The recent escalation of violence in the Middle East underlines the disparity between reality and diplomatic maneuvering in the region. The violence has also redirected the focus of world leaders. At the ongoing G8 summit, the top agenda were to be energy security, infectious disease, and education, but it appears the world leaders are already preoccupied by the violence in the Middle East. In the midst of the ongoing violence, conflict resolution analysts and peace builders continue to deliberate strategies for ceasing the hostilities and restoring peace in the Middle East. Already, several peace agreements have been brokered, signed, and then broken. While world leaders shift their position, policymakers and peace brokers continue to draft and alter agreements. Dr. John H. Lebovic, a political scientist, tossed an idea. He asked whether the process of globalization could bring cooperation and stability to the Middle East and its relations to the outside world. Then Musu goes on to discuss the process of globalization is initiated and implemented by people who must communicate, collaborate, interact, and discuss agreements, the implementation of programs and projects, which forms an integral part of cooperation. Globalization promotes collaboration. Collaboration is an act of working together jointly and not independently. This sort of globalization sort of diffuses tension, hostilities, and promote tolerance. Then she shared her views, different views on globalization. She discussed that globalization violence drives away capital. She discusses organization, discusses media and the impact they have on globalization. And then finally, her last paragraph says, the process of globalization will bring cooperation and stability to the Middle East and its relations to the outside world for helping parties to understand the effect of conflict on both human and infrastructure development. Contrary to views that the process of globalization will have a negative influence on the Middle East, like every system, globalization, when manipulated, becomes a multifaceted process. Just as capitalism requires a network of governance systems to keep it from devouring societies, globalization requires vigilance and the rule of law. Antitrust laws, the Security and Exchange Commission, labor unions, charities, the Federal Trade Commission, and countless other agencies and organizations keep American capitalism in check. Similar transparent mechanisms are needed in the Middle East to make sure globalization is a positive force in the world. Globalization will bring tremendous opportunities and benefits to all parties and sectors of society in the Middle East. The bottom line is that globalization and conflict just do not mix. In other words, the Middle East, like Somalia, Sudan, Democratic Republic of Congo, Cote d'Ivoire, and other conflict societies can decide to fight, or they can decide they want to prosper, but they cannot do both things simultaneously. Copyright by Musu Haddad. This was on July 15, 2006. I picked this because Musu work covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, okay.
And this topic, and it was nicely done. It was, as I said, it's 5 pages, and I tend to agree with the points raised. So this kind of epitomizes that she was not just restricted to one region or to one idea, but did a very good job in covering a lot of ground in her short journey on Earth. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brother Jad. That was so beautifully done. We see that Musu's reflection on globalization captured several facets of cooperation, media, rule of law, American capitalism, and conflict, of course. So I hope we can all reflect on her work and see how that can positively impact our own take on how globalization affects all of us around the world. Thank you, Brother Jah. That was beautifully done. We will now go to our second aspect of this evening. If Sis Ophelia Dempster and Berenice Moluba are still not on, we will continue to the second facet of our reflection this evening. We are about to reflect on the life of Musu Haddad. And we have about 8 persons lined up for this aspect, but 2 have not announced themselves. Brother Joseph Batua, I don't hear his name so far, and Brother Joseph Ted, Annabelle Mapu did not also announce her name. So we're going to continue with Brother Siakra Nyeswa. I thought I heard him announcing himself. Brother Nyeswa, are you there? Nyeswa? Siakra? Okay, apparently he's not on. We will go to Brother Martin Tor. Brother Tor, are you ready?
Yeah. It's totally
okay, go ahead, Brother Tor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Deva. I must first, express my deepest sympathy to the bereaved family for this unexpected loss of their beautiful daughter, sister, aunt, niece, and mother, Musu Haddad. Namaya. I must also thank the brothers and sisters, especially Mr. Vasiki Connor, who have conceived this program in memory of our departed compatriot and colleague. When I was hinted that I would be reflecting on Musu Haddad, the writer, I felt somewhat flattered. But I thought there are more informed and qualified acquaintances of the deceased sister who can authoritatively speak to this title of hers, the writer. But on the second thought, I feel honored to eulogize a gifted compatriot I knew so well. Yes, I had the opportunity to meet and interact with Musu Haddad on a personal level for nearly 8 years. The friendship afforded me some insight into her personality. Hence, I can firmly place a finger on certain traits or qualities of hers which bespoke a potential writer that she truly was. The first time I ever read an article by Musu Haddad was probably in 2004, when she reported a prayer service held in Washington Cathedral for the then ailing Catholic Archbishop of Monrovia, now the late Michael Frank. It was published in the Perspective Web magazine. I had never seen Musu before. I did not know her. I had written for the Perspective from Poland, but I didn't see her. I didn't hear of her. And a year later, I ran into this suckling mother in a Liberian home in Washington, D.C. And she turned out to be Musu Haddad. Her son Michael, strapped on her back, was barely a year old. When I introduced myself, she warmed up to me because she too had read 1 or 2 pieces of mine in a Perspective. I soon became friends visiting her. We soon became friends, visiting each other and sharing books. She also flooded me with her pieces, eliciting my editorial comments. So I linked up with Stephanie Houghton, founder and editor of the defunct Sea Breeze magazine. Stephanie, who has a perceptive eye for literary talent, embraced Musu and published her poetry in the magazine. Musu was probably one of the widely read authors in the Sea Breeze.
Right. Just to announce, Brother Gibson Jerry is here. So just to announce myself.
Okay, Brother Jerry, welcome.
Yeah.
Mr. Jerome Gateman is in.
Jerome.
Francis Duana is here.
Okay, welcome, Brother Duana and Brother Jerome. And who else?
Gibson Jerry. I think I'm supposed to read one of her thoughts.
Yeah. We will soon come to that.
Okay, sure, absolutely.
So, Brother Tor, please continue with your reflection, sir.
Okay. For the sake of our young people who are interested in writing, I would like to briefly mention the twist of Musu, the writer. First of all, Musu had a talent, which meant aptitude for words, understanding our adopted language, English. She also had perceptive ear for powerful and rhythmic phrasing. Musu had an instinctual understanding of information, however raw the information was. She never let this talent of hers lie idle. She nurtured it all of the time. The second trait of Musu loved learning as an effective way of nurturing her talent. Enter whatever Musu Haddad lived, and you walk gingerly over piles of books. Her place was always listed with printouts of articles from various Liberian web magazines. She was a voracious reader. For her, learning was an ongoing process in which one develops a mindset in search of enlightenment. She devoted her endless amount of time and energy to studying the craft of writing. Thirdly, Musu possessed diligence, a way of putting into practical use of learning. That is, she had a special commitment to writing, even in the face of difficulties. She daily juggled the multiple tasks of taking care of her son, Michael, writing an article on the computer, and reading a book. She had diligence to write, writing consistently. For Musu Haddad, writing wasn't a hobby. It certainly wasn't a career. Writing for Musu was a lifestyle. He had a determination, the hard-headed tenacity to persevere. He was willing to devote her time and energy to pursuing the craft of writing. Now, come to think of her as an established contemporary Liberian writer, I should leave a critical review of her writings, which of course have already received rave reviews in the Liberian press to literary critics. But I will have to say that Musu achieved what every writer strives to accomplish, which is a receptive audience, a steady readership. The massive tributes from Liberians at home and abroad that we have read and heard over the past few weeks following her death are indicative of her solid fame through her writing. But one unique thing that Musu brought to Liberian writing is this. First of all, she targeted Liberian readers, her loyal audience for whom she has something to say in an authentic Liberian voice. This Lama woman, as she will always describe herself to me, labored to share the Liberian experience, the Liberian condition, whether it was by the use of a camera or by the use of a pen or the keyboard. Audience understood her, she stood for them, and she told them about Benesu, for example. She told us about the environment in Liberia, the Liberian people, the Liberian situation. Her legacy to our young people might be that if you have a writing skill, you can develop it, but use it in the service of your people. Use it in the service of your country. Be authentic. And once you're authentic, you will be recognized. Musu never sought to be validated by some kind of international people. It is the Liberian readers that recognize it, that recognized her. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, sir, Brother Toad. This was actually done. We appreciate this reflection on the life of our departed colleague, friend, sister, relative. You capture several important aspects that you want us to remember as we reflect on Musu, her aptitude for words, her essential understanding of what she did, her love for learning, her diligence to writing, and writing. She had a receptive audience, and most of all, she wrote in an authentic Liberian voice, which is very crucial for all of us who are on this line this evening. And she never sought to be given certain flowers by the international community, but she was focused on her own people with that connectiveness in her writing. Thank you, Brother To. We will keep this reflection in our minds as we continue this evening. We'll continue now to our own Professor K. Moses Nangbe. We all know Professor Nangbe, his contribution to the literary world in Liberia. He's a renowned academia. We all know that. So, Mr. Nangbe, it's all yours, sir.
Thank you, moderator. Musu Haddad often had this air of sweet innocence with a kind of laughter that could remind you of a high school girl excited over some surprising news. Yet, beyond that laughter was usually a serious and productive persona. I first met Musu in Ghana. It was in November 1992. I had gone on a health trip and met a good number of Liberians, some of whom were studying at the Ghana Institute of Journalism, popularly known as GIJ. These young people really made me feel good out there. Indeed, it was refreshing to see a dozen young Liberians applying their time, while many others were sadly wasting away on the battlefields of our mind-tearing war. One of those few who would remain memorable to me was the very Musu Haddad. Her friendliness as a human being, her passion for her camera, and her enthusiasm for writing, all of which I recognized in that 1992 year, continued until the end of her life. I almost would not accept uttering the last phrase. Musu's life cannot and should not end like that. She often was interested in the numerous phases of life and never hesitated to share her thoughts and feelings about such changing scenes of life, examples of which have been documented in her poetry and her random thoughts. I strongly believe that those who document life cannot be easily deleted from life. Those who document life cannot be easily deleted from life. Therefore, on this day of celebrating what this young lady added to our national discourse and national image, I am proud to say what I truly believe, and that is Musu still dwells with us. Only those who never lived die. Only those who never lived die. Those who think life is limited simply to flesh and blood need to think twice. Flesh and blood are just a tiny part of what normal human beings are and are bound to become. At death, our divinity, like surging vapor, breaks free to live on forever. Now, our Musu Haddad touches divinity. May her friendliness, her passion, and enthusiasm for the word and for the camera, as she lived physically amongst us, inspire us toward a greater good of humanity, a greater good for our own country, Liberia, a greater good for our continent, and a greater good for our world. May we all continue to be inspired. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Prof. Nangbe, Prof. K. Moses Nangbe, for that reflection.
Mr. Dada, quickly here. Folks, if you notice your line is getting muted and then unmuted, it's because I'm carefully here. I'm listening carefully to see when I notice background noises. I close your line, and then I come back to open up your line to see if the noise, has gone away. So if you're hearing that, those of you, who are in traffic, driving or somewhere, I'm basically looking for signs of any disturbance here, and I'm trying to close your line, then I'll come back and open it. So if you hear muted or muted, that's what's going on. So thank you, Mr. Moderator. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Brother Kurma. Thank you for keeping things rolling. Again, we would like to thank our dear Professor K. Moses Nangbe for that sweet reflection on the life of Musu Haddad. He mentioned several things, and he said Musu had an air of sweet innocence, laughter of a high school girl, but then she was still serious about what she did. That is something that we all should reflect on. Our character and what we do. Laughter means nothing if we have something substantive to contribute to society. So we think that our Prof already lifted that aspect up. He met her in Ghana in 1992 when she was studying at GRJ in Accra. He mentioned her passion for the camera, and she was interested in the numerous phases of life, based on which she wrote her articles and her poems and her concern. And this is instructive from Professor Nangbe that those who document life cannot easily be deleted from life, and this is so true. The life we live will speak for us, whether positively or negatively. And then, only those who never live dies. That is instructive as well. So thank you, Prof, for those words of reflection on Sis Musu Haddad. We'll now continue our virtual teleconference by now asking Sis Martha Washington to reflect on the life of our departed colleague Musu Haddad.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator Swadjede. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a pleasure to be on this forum with you, memorializing Musu in the way and manner that we should. I would like to specifically say hello to Prof. Mose Nangwe. How are you, Prof?
How are you?
And also to Dr. Amos Zumo.
Hi. How are you?
I got to know Musu in the mid-90s, and we became fast friends, and we worked together sometimes, and Musu was someone who was also special to me, so I'm glad that I have the opportunity to be part of this. I first met Musu in the mid-1990s when I was visiting colleagues at the newspaper located on Broad Street. I was walking by the news and had stopped to say hello to Yinken Fokba, Joe Batwa, and other friends when I encountered Musu. She was in Joe Batwa's office, and they were, of course, working on stories for the next edition of the news. Joe introduced Musu to me, informing me that she had just returned from Ghana, where she had been a student at the GIJ, the Ghana Institute of Journalism. Joe Batwa said to me at the time that he would love to have Musu shadow or team up with me on assignments sometime. I was glad to meet Musu. She appeared friendly, a bubbly person, and she had an accepting personality. She expressed that she had followed my reporting while in Ghana and was glad to meet me and was looking forward to teaming up with me sometimes. There and then, I would realize in the typical Musu fashion, Musu nicknamed me on the very first day we met. She called me Elizabeth Blunt, and then she teased me and she said, "You think you bulletproof, eh? You all between the rebel then?" Making reference to me going on assignments even in rebel-held territory. Nicknaming people and being a practical joker was a part of Musu's personality that I got to know and appreciated. Before leaving the news that day, Musu took several shots of me, photographs which I never got. Throughout our friendship, whenever I saw her, I would say, "Hey, you girl, where are my photos?" And Musu would respond, "The pictures are too beautiful, therefore I have them in the archives." Musu was unassuming in her personality and low-key. She was comfortable with herself. Majority of the time, Musu wore simple traditional Liberian skirt and buba. I teased Musu sometimes, and I told her she was the first Lebanese woman who dressed like a peddler woman all the time. Musu was proud of her Liberian heritage. I even copied one of her Buba staff, a nickname Musu Haddad, even though she's from Blofa County. Musu was an ardent lover of journalism, choosing to join the profession at a time when it was risky and extremely dangerous to be a journalist in Liberia, especially if you were based in Monrovia. The work then was based upon love for the profession and pure sacrifice because there was no money. Journalists were amongst the least paid, not to mention that the country was at war and divided between Central Monrovia, Bushro Island, and Greater Liberia. When I had the opportunity to serve as a retainer visiting trainer at the GIJ couple of years ago, Musu was spoken about repeatedly in such an affectionate and professional manner. I felt so proud to be a Liberian first and then a female journalist. Musu had left her mark in Ghana. Rather than being discouraged or frightened to seek other professions, Musu dived deep into journalism, multitasking with both the pen and the camera, working twice as hard, and emerging as one of a few rare breeds of female journalists that the country has produced. Musu exhibited great creativity, skills, and talents in her writings and her photographs. With her pen, she breathed life into words, and with her camera, pictures came alive and told 1,000 stories. By the time Musu had assimilated into Liberian journalistic circle, which was very quickly, she would hold her own and distinguish herself as a noticeable member of the inky profession. No doubt, our profession has been dealt a blow, but the alliance of female journalists an even bigger blow. While we mourn our sister and friend's passing, we shall remember always the indelible mark she has left on our profession, country, and the world in general. Musu left one son, Michael, whom she loves dearly, and who is the apple of her eye. Let us remember little Michael, and let's try to be kind to him through the years, because Musu would do the same for us if the table was turned. Farewell, my Haddad girl. I will get my picture from you when we shall meet again one day in glory.
Thank you, sis, Asa Washington, for that thoughtful reflection on the life of our departed colleague, Musu Haddad. Met her in mid-1990 at the newspaper, according to you. Since then, our friendship developed over the years. According to you, she appeared friendly, and she also appears a godly person, which is very important for all of us. She loved nicknaming people, and she was a practical joker. That's true. I can also relate to that as well. Indeed, Musu was comfortable with herself. That was very pungent from what you said. She was indeed not afraid to take up tasks that others would not want to take up. She boldly faced life challenges, and that was very true. She was proud of her Liberian heritage base. We can see that in her writings and her poems and the rest of that. She loved journalism. She rightly put it. And indeed, Musu really multitasked with her pen and her camera. You really lifted that up, and that was very important. And you also mentioned that she distinguished herself as a journalist. Indeed, that's why we are on this virtual teleconference this evening to reflect on her life. So thank you so much, sis, Master Washington, for that reflection on the life of our sister. We will continue this time with another female journalist, now in the person of Rufina Dapo. It's all yours, Sis Dapo.
Well, good evening, everybody. It's good to hear some voices that I've not heard for a long time. Even if it's, at a memorial service for our dear sister, it's still good to hear from a lot of people. I only got to know today that I had to do this. So I'll say it stripped from the head and try to remember some things about Musu. Musu was a Liberian journalist. as has been said, but I got to know Musu. Musu and I interacted in a different way. It was woman to woman mainly. I got to know Musu when I came back from studying in Nigeria. That was in 1997. I was working with Dr. Sawyer at Seed, and Musu sought me out because we were trying to organize the Female Journalists Association at that time for us to have a different body than the one we had already. And she had sought me out, and she had a problem. As I remember, Musu had a problem. She was scared, and Taylor and others were trying to seek her out or scare her, and she said she was scared. She needed a place to hide, and blah, 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 blah. Not because I don't think it's important what she said. I don't remember much of it. But I remember that's how I first met Musu. She sought me out at we were having a meeting. She became very active in our organization of the Female Journalists Association. She was given a position in our organization after we founded it. Then I came over to the U.S. So my interaction with Musu was very short in Liberia, not a long one as far as I can remember. I heard a lot about her. She won a lot of awards. I heard people speak with her. The female journalists, they speak about her, saying good things about her. She won awards for her journalism, her practice, her pictures. She was active. She was friendly. And she was a go-getter. She wanted something, she went and got it. She was not afraid. Musu was a brave girl. I read some of her stories. It's just that, unfortunately, when you work in the media, I don't know if everybody is like me, I don't read all the stories because most of the time we know it. I read the lead. I don't go into the details. But I do remember Musu and Musu's writings and the good work she was doing in Liberia. Musu and myself formed a stronger bond here in the U.S. The only thing was that it was on the phone because we never got to meet in person. We were on the phone talking most of the time. Almost every day I would speak with Musu, and she had a lot of things to say. I had so many things to say, too. Like I said, we interacted as women mainly, not as journalists, not as female journalists. We did discuss journalism. She tried to tell me about what she was doing, some of her plans. We planned some things that female journalists would come together. We would plan this nonprofit organization, and we would work to promote women's rights, gender rights, children's rights, and all that kind of stuff. And then she would laugh and say, well, if we could just learn to live with each other, because all female journalists are not very close. Most of the time you find the women close to the guys, but amongst ourselves, between ourselves, we were not too close. And that was something she always spoke about and we always laughed about. What I remember most about Musu is her laughter, her love for life, her love for journalism. Above all, her love for journalism before she had her son. And she wanted to write all the time. She spoke about journalism. She wanted to go out, look for stories, and do things. And the time she was telling me this, I was trying to put journalism behind me. I had just had my daughter. So when she would come with all the current events, all the stories about things that were happening, I said, Musu, now I watch Dora and I watch Cartoon Network and I don't listen to the news anymore. I was not able to give back what Musu was giving me because my own perspective had changed. It was about my daughter. It was about being a good mother. It was all about that. And so I listened for any news on Liberia I got from Musu. And the news about what was really happening in the world I got from Musu. I had my own problems that she would talk out, and she wanted to come and move to Minnesota. I said, you're welcome. Or I could come and move to Maryland, but I had some legal restrictions on my movement, so that was not possible. And we just talked about, my problems, her problems. And then one day she called crying. It had snowed heavily in her area, and for several days they were locked in. And then the snow started to melt, and her apartment was flooded. And she was crying because she had water in her apartment. She didn't know what to do. There was no light. And she was in tears, and I didn't know what to do. I was upset, and fortunately, I just found out that a good friend of mine that I used to work with at a Catholic radio station was living in the D.C. area where Musu was. So I said, Musu, let me see if this guy can help you, She didn't have a car, too. She will sometimes cry about having to take the bus during the winter to go shopping and come back with food or take a taxi and, and stuff like that. So I got in touch with my friend and brother, Joseph Sherman. And I said, Sherman, can you do me a favor? I have a good friend in the D.C. area. Can you help her take her shopping sometimes when she needs it? She needs help, He said, good, fine. Typical Liberian man. Is she pretty? I said, yes, she's pretty, but that's not the point. You just need to go and pick her up and bring her. To make a very long story short, Musu met Sherman. They liked each other. Michael came about. They got engaged to get married. I was happy about that. And then everything, for my side of it, I don't know, came to a halt. The contact was broken. Till today, I'm not sure what happened. I'm still trying to get answers as to what really happened, but there was a break in the relationship between Musu and myself. But the times that we talked, I still remember, and I was like, okay, maybe at a certain time I'll get some understanding or some clarification. We did speak about Michael most of the time, and I read Musu's poems, and I was so surprised about how much talent she had. I really did not interact with Musu as a journalist, merely as a woman, and about problems in relationships, problems with life. That's what we talked about. And then I went to read some of her stuff after she passed, and I was like, oh, my God, this girl is so talented. The thoughts, the way she crafted her words, and I just couldn't get over it. I said, look, I've been missing a lot. I know she told me a lot of her plans, and she was writing this, and she was writing that, but I was really putting sense to war. I tried to put a lot of things behind me, and I regret that.
I'm sorry to say, I don't like Minnesota. I don't know Minnesota plays, and we're going to get really like you.
Thank you, Sis Rufina, for that quick reflection of my sister. You got to know this evening that you were doing a reflection on her life, but I think I didn't know a week before it would have been even more powerful than it is, but you still did well about your reflection on Sis Musu Haddad. And you stated that the relationship was basically woman-to-woman relationship, but you also reflected on how brave she was, and she was a goal-getter. You discussed women's issue as well as other issues, women's rights issues, her own style of writing. You remember her laughter and her love for journalism, which keep coming up from the different reflection of Musu Haddad. Indeed, she had captivating laughter or smile, as I will put it. Yeah, indeed, you are right. She was a talented and a crafted writer, and so we will keep these thoughts in mind, especially your interaction with her when it came to her participation in the Liberian female journalist kind of activities in Liberia. So thank you so much for your reflection on Sis Musu Haddad. We pray that these memories will live with us until we also exit out of this world. Thank you so much. We will now continue to another angle of our reflection this evening. We will now reflect on Musu's random thoughts that she published in her blog. We have two persons doing this in the presence of Dr. Zumo and journalist Gibson Jeru. We will start with Dr. Zumo on Musu's random thoughts. Dr. Zumo, is all yours, sir.
Yeah, hi, Dr. Zumo. Thanks so much. I got to know Musu through the random thoughts, and I think everybody remember her. Remember that has a hallmark of what she did at her best. There are so many of them. I just going to get little pieces from there, and I think everybody has most of that. But when I first got the first random thought several years ago, I copied it. I brought it to my wife, who trained as a psychologist as well, and I gave it to her. She read it. I said, "This is a writer, Liberian writer." He said, "Do you think this girl is a psychologist pretending to be a writer?" I said, "She's both." We began to read that more and more and more and more and more. So and we began to communicate here and there. In June 2011, we met Musu in person at our house in the presence of James Fasquelle. We connected immediately. We began to talk. She traveled then and came back. She left her son with us, and she was just excellent. She was just very passionate, very inquisitive. She was just like one of the residents. She always said, "Look, I'm trying to ask questions, and I want to just make my audience to understand me better." And I could see that she really carried this through to her random thoughts, and these were very, very essential. I would just give one or two little quotations which I think kind of reflected our own idea of what the Musu was. In one of the random thoughts, she said that she wrote her dear late mother. He said, "I did something that I find shameful, that I took my precious time to carry out a survey on gossiping." This is the person that she was just very scientific. She was very much interested in neuroscience, and it was so beautiful how she transferred her answers she got into her writings. I remember before this was written, when we met, she asked me in a space of 10 minutes, almost, as my wife recalled, almost 100 questions in 10 minutes. And I was answering rapidly. My wife said, "Hey, this man has a brief too." So she said, "Yeah, but I had this to improve." And she went on and went on and went on. And we went to a topic. She said, "I want to write about what I see very troubling in the society. The very widespread cavalier use of antipsychotic medication on almost everybody, old, young, without anybody thinking." So I said, "Well, Musu, I can give you some ideas. Let's work on that." So she asked questions. Well, that kind of like died down when she went to Liberia. When she got her place, she said, "I'm ready. I need to read more on this." By the time she began to write on it, somebody at Al Jazeera had written exactly an article covering the questions that Musu had asked me. So I said to Musu, "Musu, somebody got the article already." He said, "See, what I'm telling you? Something somebody else was saying. I was not alone." I said, "That's good." And so that really struck into my mind that this was the kind of person Musu was. She was more just like one of my residents. She would just ask and push the envelope further and further. So anyway, that's much about the Musu that I know and many people know. But I think there's one thing which I think I can pick up from one of the random thoughts that we can really tells me and everybody else, I think, who she was. And she said in one of the random thoughts, which is called "When Swimming with Sharks, Don't Bleed." And she was kind of reflecting on the communal life of some people who said they're your friends, then they become very chaotic and trying to bring the term of frenemy, person who is friends like this, you don't need enemies. And she says, "Mama, it's hard to believe that someone you consider a friend or colleague may be the same individual who creates consistent, sometimes covert chaos. Isn't that something?" That's what she said. Then in her kind of self-portrait, she says, "We must recognize and accept the beautiful reality that God has a greater purpose for my life and your life. And God's purpose doesn't include sharks, fiercely digging those teeth into our flesh. In addition to being with us, you look back at your life and see how God has touched the hearts and hands of so many wonderful people who provided each of us amazing opportunities to broaden our skills and knowledge. And I intend to use my skills to enhance society and brighten my corner. That's me." That is truly Musu Haddad. May her soul rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Zumo, for that reflection, which also reflects on the aspect of Musu's life. You got to know her first through her random thoughts, even before meeting her personally in June 2011. You said she was excellent in her thoughts, especially through her writing on the random thoughts that you just reflected on. Interestingly, she did a survey on gossiping. Gossiping is a facet of life that some of us are so involved with, to the extent where we forget the danger that gossiping would do to other people. I'm glad you brought that up. You have me laughing when you said she asked you so many questions in 10 minutes. That is Musu Haddad. She was inquisitive from what you just said. She wanted to know a lot of things in order to inform her writing, so that she won't just write for the sake of writing, but to have some positive impact on society, which was true. Indeed, I also got to know, according to you, about concern about the use of anti-anxiety drugs, which is also affecting a lot of young people in this country. That has its own negative impact on young people in this country. Thank you so much for your reflection, sir. And I'm glad you concluded with Musu's perspective on how God intervention in our lives lead us in the direction that God wants us to go. That is very instructive and important that we keep that in the back of our minds, because God knows exactly what He's doing with each of us. So thank you, Dr. Zuma. Thank you so much. We will continue now with brother journalist Gibson Jeru, who's going to also reflect on Musu's random thoughts. Brother Jeru, is yours.
Thank you, German. First of all, let me just observe a second of silence for Musu Haddad and the fallen journalists in Liberia. Thank you. The portion of Musu Haddad's random thought I'll be reading tonight has to do with the title, When Swimming with Sharks, Don't Bleed. But before I read it, let me just tell people that I'm one of the few journalists who actually work with Musu. As a matter of fact, Musu and I, when Charles Tiller was president, she and I were assigned at the executive mansion covering Tiller, and I know the kind of problems that Musu encountered at the executive mansion. You know, most time government officials, including Tiller himself, they are allergic to beautiful women, and that was one of Musu's problems. But she never gave up her womanhood. She never compromised her profession, and she stood there. And another time, we were also Mr. Batwad and assigned us at the ECOMA, and we also had a lot of embarrassing situations because Musu was uncompromising. She was a photojournalist, but she was a very good writer. And I was a covering journalist, reporter, but we always compared notes. So in short, I know Musu very well professionally, and I know her as a friend. I went to Musu house many times. We ate rice together. We went to a restaurant, or kobosha, if you want to call that. We ate together. And hearing that Musu is the person we'll be memorializing today, it tells me so many things. But one good thing she told me before, in 2001 actually, when I came from Ghana, early 2002, she saw my manuscript and she said, Gibson, you pull a day, then you say you want to write a book. Why don't you go publish the other book here? Let's just do our journalism business. We'll get out of here, then we'll do book business. And I told her, I said, Musu, that's true. But at the end of the day, one of the things she said to me, don't destroy your manuscript. Keep it, no matter how long it takes, and transform it into a book. Today, I have 2 books published, and it's because Musu Haddad told me not to destroy that manuscript. And after my first book was published, I was encouraged to publish the second one, and I'm in my 3rd and 4th manuscript. So Musu means a lot to me as much as it meant a lot to a lot of people. So I am very grateful that I can be able to participate in this memorial program. This round of thought I'm going to be reading, it was written on Thursday, June 6, 2013. And she says, Dearest Mama, it's been a long time since we communicated. I've missed this medium and do honestly hope that we keep a flicker of light in this small corner until we have exhausted. If possible, issues that must be discussed Until the ills in our society run away, until the pen runs out of ink. That means the persistence that she has on her mind, and everybody knows that. Mama, I assume that the title of this letter, When Swimming with Sharks Don't Bleed, must have been wondering, for God's sake, why will a human being swim with sharks? Yes, for a start, that's a good question to get the mind animated. Secondly, the topic is not just an imagination. It comes out of a discussion with an elder who probably didn't want to say much, as usual. His direct words to me a few days ago, when you are swimming with sharks, you are bidden, and you are bidden, for God's sake, don't bleed. When I asked this elder to expound on his statement, he woke up from his seat, and he had willingly occupied opposite me during our brief discussion and lazily walked to another seat. What puzzled me about this elder, who is your brother, is that he didn't say much after that, but kept on hammering. I said, for God's sake, don't bleed. I said, for God's sake, don't bleed. As this elder, your brother who has taken on the duty of keeping watch over the family in your absence, repeated the ammunition. I began to feel cold chills, and his voice sounded faint as I silently moved over a short warning. As I stepped out of the elder's place, my face changed as the hot sun ray greeted me outside. The warmth from the sun warmed my body, but the cold from the warning concealed it into the remote part of my body. Away from the sweet sensation of the sun ray, after reaching the street, I found a quiet place and began to dissect the elder's warning. I replayed our conversation and reflected on my past. Struggles from elementary through high school days, baking and selling bread, selling used clothes at Rally Town Market during my days at T-High, challenges during the senseless war, my life in exile, and my beautiful network of friends. In all those days, did I swim with sharks? Or is it now that I am swimming with sharks? When did I jump into the ocean to swim with sharks? What if one of the numerous sharks brushed against my body and their fins cut me? How do I avoid bleeding to ensure that I am not eaten? Did I ignore my intuition somewhere in life? Later, I pulled out my cellular phone and called one of my sisters without revealing much. We discussed the topic by comparing sharks to dolphins. We agreed that the shark is a predator, the hurricane that prevails in the sea. She bluntly told me the shark is at the top of the game, cold-blooded and solitary. As she said those words, I felt my mind shivering. Then I heard my sister's voice. The dolphin operates in tame, has a network that she works with. Women tend to have these dolphin characteristics, being collaborative, being engaged, and being supported. I allow my sister's voice to trail out that thought about ways to avoid being bitten by the shark. I find myself consciously swimming with on the daily basis. I will not read the whole thing, but I think the whole crux of the matter is about women empowerment. I mean, Musu is trying to suggest in this point, and how to be careful when you are dealing with other people. And I'm happy that these network of friends that she's talking about today are gathering to memorialize her. And this is not just enough. This is just the start of with many things that will be taking place. I have read almost all of her poems on her blog, and I hope that this process will continue in a way that we can even raise some money to be able to publish her poems and her writings into a book so that she remains a read author, apart from just these internet and newspaper and magazine writings. Thank you very much.
Thank you indeed, Brother Gibson, for your reflection on Musu's Radam thought, especially her article titled "When Swimming with a Shark, Don't Bleed." Indeed, that is so true. You work with Musu, covering executive mansion during the presidency of Charles Taylor. We know, all of us who were in Moravia then, we can relate to how tedious it was, especially with people eyeing you for the articles you wrote, feeling that you are against them because you want to be professional in your writing. So we thank God for that profession. You said she never compromised her womanhood nor her ethics. That is indeed very, 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 very true. And even the journalists with us on this line this evening also stood firm in their own professional aspect when it came to how they interact with society and how they base their writing on professionalism. Thank you for that. You jokingly said when you show your manuscript to Musu, she first joked you, but then she encouraged you to not destroy your manuscript, and you are grateful to God today that she encouraged you to do that, and you have 2 books. Congratulations on your 2 books, Brother Jeru.
Mr. Moderator.
Yeah.
We got Musu Fofana to read that poem.
Which one?
The poem where Musu defined herself.
Oh, okay. We will come to that because I think Gibson was the last one on a random thought. We will then we'll come to remarks from the family, and then we will be concluding this evening. We'll do that. Yeah. Okay. So thank you, Brother Jeru, for your reflection on our friend, our sister, and our colleague Musu Haddad. Well, before we come to remarks, we will come back to what Brother Kumar just informed me about somebody who is ready to read Musu's poem. If the person is ready to go right ahead.
All right. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Musu Fofana, and I am from Salaye. Musu also is from Salaye, and she's a family. We all know her, and we are just very much glad that this program was put together tonight by our peers and a professional friend. When Professor Kone told me about this program, I was very much delighted, and I was happy to be part of it because we all have to prove to her for all of the kind relationships that we all have with her. So having said that, I will go ahead and read the poem as it goes. The title of the poem is My Place of Birth. And based on our relationship from the same place, I think it's a very good thing. I really am proud to be part of this program tonight. So here it goes. She said, my place of birth, a beautiful green grassland, plum trees, guava trees, many trees. A fertile land for animals, all trees, fresh, beautiful land, lush topsoil, luxurious vegetables from soil, dark, naturally rich, fertile soil. Bare feet against the grass, soil soft between my toes, sunlight slowly beating from above, dance through the green leaves, twinkling of sun ray in my hair. Yes, I was fond of this place, my place of birth. Yeah, the land of my birth, the land beautiful and free. Butterflies, birds, the sky, all air, fly above cherry and free. The smell of the fresh air flying through my hairs, gently against my innocent face. I giggled, raised with the wind. The river's creeks flow freely. Fresh running water against my skin. Sparkling bubbles drop on my face. My place of birth. Yeah, the land of my birth. Beautiful, rich, embracing. But as the years went by, the rich soil, the trees, fresh air, sounds of flowing rivers were gone away. Green trees, beautiful sky, now gray. Traces of my childhood gone away. Sounds of birds gone astray. The color, the air, the soil, waterfall, the grass, soil, rivers, storage. Sound of motors, machine crack, give headache, makes me hazy. Cloudy mist, the warm fresh air taking over the land of my birth.
Thank you, Brother Musa Fofana, for reading Musu's poem, My Place of Birth. Thank you so much, my friend, for that beautiful reading and reflection on Musu's poem. We have concluded all of the presentations and review and reflection on Musu's work. We still have not heard from Brother Batois, or what is on the line, or Joseph Ted, or Annabelle Mapu, or Brother Siako and Yeswa. We still have not heard from them. Apparently they have not come on and they could not make it this evening. So I take it that we wouldn't be hearing from them this evening. But as we conclude this aspect of the reflection of Musu's life, Brother Jeru concluded with something I've been thinking about too, how we could work together or contribute towards the publication of Musu's work, which we all have praised, and to have this work published for others to read and analyze what Musu lived for and how she reflected her thoughts in her writing is something we could consider. Somebody initially, I think it was Professor Eneke, who mentioned that we should not only gather when we have death in our ranks and file, but we should begin to consider giving flowers to whom flowers are due. These are things that we can reflect on as we conclude this evening. We could maybe find time to discuss those, or whatever we decide we can do that, but these 2 points are very key. The publication of Musu's work and our giving flowers to whom flowers are due while they are still alive, to smell the fragrance of that before they pass from here to the great beyond. I thought we'd leave those 2 points for us to reflect on them as we continue coming to the conclusion of this evening. But we come to the place where we want to allow Musu's family or sisters on the line to make remarks regarding this virtual teleconference this evening. I'm sure she is still with us. So, sis, if you stay there, please go ahead with the remarks from the family.
Miriam? I'm still here. My brother's on the line, so I don't know. I was asking him if he was going to do it. Elijah, are you going to do it, or you want me to do it?
I think you should do it because I'm driving.
Okay.
Sorry, Nana.
I don't know.
I'm on it.
Yes. You do it.
All right, Omar.
So who's doing
you do it? You.
Sorry.
Marianne?
No, you do it.
Marianne, you can do it. You can do it. I'll make a comment after. You do it.
Okay. Well, on behalf of our family, we'd like to thank you all for putting this program together in remembrance of our sister, and to all of those who join in to listen. We thank you all. May God bless you all for remembering our sister. She was a great person, and we dearly miss her. And once again, thank you all so much for everything.
Your name?
Musu Haddad.
Okay.
Mr. Moderator?
Mary, are you done?
Yes, am.
Oh, okay. That was very brief and to the point. Thank you so much for those very brief remarks. I want you to know that we all have a place in our hearts for our dear departed sister. As you listened to all of the comments, the reflection on her life and how she contributed to the society in a positive way, I want you to know that we will always remember our dear sister and keep the family in our prayers as well. So thank you for giving us this opportunity to do what we just did. Hopefully in the future when we decide maybe to congregate at a particular place in continuance of this virtual teleconference so that we can again maybe add another flavor to what we're doing this evening, I'm sure you will agree when that time comes. But thank you so much, Mary and Haddad.
What's your name again?
Come again?
What's your name again?
Oh, my name is Swadede.
Swadede, okay. Yeah, I really didn't know about it until yesterday evening, so.
Okay. I'm sure there were a lot of works that went into it, and perhaps they were trying to make sure to touch base with everybody involved in this thing. Maybe that's why, but I'm sure they have all good intention to have the family informed and involved to be an active participant in this evening. But thank you for coming so much, even with the last or the 11-hour notice. Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate that.
Mr.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Kruma here. You do have a Liberia caller, and obviously, given the time difference and the distance between where we are and where they are, the whole ceremony must mean a whole lot to whoever this caller is from Liberia. So I wanted you to know that it's a cell call number. 1295 is the caller's last number. I don't know if he or she has to contribute. Okay.
Oh, yes.
So,
the person is calling from Liberia, you said?
Yeah, calling from Liberia. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, from the family. Okay, go right ahead. Let her call name, please, so that we can know who's talking, and then she can go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Moderator, I'm Ruth Haddad Johnson.
Okay,
yes,
Ruth, go ahead, my dear sister. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Yes, senior sister of Musu. I'm grateful for you people. As I sit listening, it seems to be like Musu just passed away this evening. Yes, now when my sister said I should talk, it was so hard, but I asked God to give me the strength. One thing I would like to tell God, thank you. Our sister lived a very short life, but a life that is much more talk about positively. Yes, I just want to tell God, thank you, and I thank you, oh God. I thank you all. I thank you for your time you put in to remember her. May God bless you all.
Thank you, Ruth, for joining us. We are appreciative indeed. You are right. Our sister led a short but positive, constructive, engaging life that we all will continue to reflect on as long as we also take our exit from this troublesome world. Thank you so much. Brother Kurma, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to, it's a pleasure being here. I want to welcome everyone to the Liberian Diaspora Forum weekly talk show. This is what we do every Sunday. But I also like to announce that last week Sunday by this time, we were hosting George Melvin Johnson, the fiancé of Ellie Cochran, those who did a secret recording in Liberia. And so tomorrow we do have a special edition featuring Ellie Cochran's lawyer. They finally hired a lawyer to represent them in court in Liberia. So they'll be on tomorrow by this time. So I just wanted to pass that announcement on. So I'll let you go ahead with your program. Thank you.
Okay. So that will come on the announcement. But thank you for doing that to send that information out very quickly. This time I will go back to my own brother Nafasiki Kone, whom used to call him Professor NNK based on our own interaction back in Liberia when we published his poems in the I newspaper. This time, Brother Connor will do the announcements and then the vote of thanks. So, Brother Connor, it is up to you with the announcements and the vote of thanks.
All right. Thank you so much, Pastor Swadere. We go way back to the Our newspaper in Monrovia.
You're welcome.
It is great to see everyone here tonight. I know this is the first of its kind to have a virtual memorial for anyone in our community, but I believe this type of virtual program regarding literary work is not going to be the last. It is the starting of something great to come in our community. We thank each and every one of you that took your time to be here to respond to our call, to remember our dear friend Musu. And I know all of you have busy schedule, but you thought it was to be here. We thank you so much for that. Besides that, the announcement is about the donation. Donation was started a few weeks ago by Joe Batois. It is unfortunate that he's not on tonight. We said that we were not going to duplicate our function. So Joe Batois, we gave us an account to which we all will have to be able to deposit our donation to, however little it is, from whatever you can afford. We will communicate the result of this conversation tonight to him, and when he makes it available for us, the account to which we will be depositing money to will be transferred to the family later on. We're going to let everybody know about that. And the other matter is I know Gibson, they will touch base on that. I consider Musu in the same way Emily Dickinson was considered by most people in America. Emily Dickinson was one of America's great poets, but unfortunately, all the writing she did not see the daylight of publication until she was dead many years after. So we will say here that in order for the voice of Musu not to die forever, in order for her voice not to be silent, we want to be able to do a kind of publication that will include her poems, her essays, on different subjects, so that her memory will still be alive with us today and tomorrow. I believe that Liberians are writing today more than ever before, but unfortunately we don't have any forum, any avenue to talk about all the great writing that has been done by Liberians. So it is our hope that tonight's program is setting into motion such an avenue that we will be able to talk about our works, critique our work, and promote our works. Because every literary material that we promote, we are promoting the image of our country. So these are some of the things we have to say with regard to the announcement, and I will just, let our colleague Dennis to, if he has something to add to what I've just said, Dennis, you can go ahead and do that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Connor. To continue with the announcement, I first want to thank all of our participants and those who have called in to this program. We value your time and say thank you very much for being on. The program that was held tonight is going to be broadcast in Monrovia, and that's courtesy of the Liberian Diaspora Forum. And what I will be doing too is for all your contributions, we want to be able to write them out, to catalog them, and publish them if possible. So if you have made any contributions, you have made any reflection, any tribute, you have read any poem, we want to have a collection of that. So I will be coming to you to send me a written copy of what you've done tonight so that we can have a place to put them together into some form of publication. Already, Mr. Gibson Chero is going to be spearheading the effort of publication of Musu's work, and so that too may form part of that publication. So I will be getting back in touch with you, or you can just send it to my email, dennisja@yahoo.com, for the beautiful reflections and the things that you have read tonight. Again, thanks for your time, and thanks so much to the Liberian Diaspora Forum for letting us use this platform so as to honor the memory of our fallen colleague. God bless you.
Thank you. Mr. Corner, Mr. Jab, why it is true that Joe Batua, who is in charge of fundraising, is now online, but it is also true that you have a very large audience here. Right now we have a total of 318 people. There's nothing wrong with taking pledges. People can make commitments now if they are willing to do so, and then you can also communicate that to Mr. Batua when you do talk to him. Shouldn't we consider that? I don't know if you're going to have 318 people assemble anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, I think that's a very good suggestion, Kafuma Kuma. We can utilize the opportunity with the 300 plus people right now.
All right. That's a very good something. May I come in? Can I come in? Musa here for fun.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, Kafuma, that's a great idea, and actually, if that meets the consensus of the organizers, I think I want to be the first to make such a pledge. I would like to make a pledge of $100 to that fund. So if the organizers can get back with me with how they want to collect that pledge, I'll be very much happy.
So what's your name, sir?
Musa Fufana.
Oh, Musa, okay.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, my name is Jerry Wynn. I'm in the nation's capital. I'm an employee of WALBC, Executive Manager and Presidential Television Commentator. I don't know Musi personally, but I've read her articles, and this is a good effort. I think we need a memorial to keep her in our memory. I think we should not just come together when these kind of things happen. We need to form an organization of Liberian journalists in the Americas. I know there was one before, but I don't know if it is still in existence or not. And also, I'm going to make a pledge of $100. Dennis John knows how to get in touch with me. And what I think we need to do also is to maybe think about establishing a scholarship at the University of Liberia for journalism students there. How much can it be? Maybe $200-300 can help, 2 or 3 desperate students at the University of Liberia. So I just wanted to throw in that suggestion. Again, my name is Jerry Wynn. I run the Liberian African News Service in Washington, D.C. Dennis has my phone number. Dennis Jia will get in touch with me. And my pledge is US $100.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you so much, Brother William. That is appreciated. Any other players?
Good evening, Jay and Chris Zeze.
Yeah, Brother Zeze, go right ahead, sir.
I pledge $100, and I will send it to Dr. Lawrence Nomo. You get it from him.
What's your name again?
Jay Yankwez Zeze.
Oh, Jay Yankwez Zeze.
And a prolific writer.
Okay.
Thank you very much for organizing the forum and memorial service. Thank you.
Any other?
Folks, all the lines are open now, so just speak out. If you want to pledge, just go ahead and speak out. Every line is open, including the background noise line. Every line is open right now, so speak out.
Apparently, everybody is kind of taking time to reflect on, because when you make a pledge, you have to make sure that pledge is okay, because our vows are very important. So people are being very circumspect to be careful on what pledges to make, and very people thinking how much to pledge. So the silence means people stay thinking. So Mr. Kumar, from my end, I think I've doing what I've been asked to do, moderate this evening reflection on Musu's life, and I'm happy that we had this opportunity. I'm going to also pledge $100. This is Musu Haddad. I'm going to pledge $100. Navasiki Kone can contact me. Brother Dennis Jha also has my number now. Yes, you can contact me. Any one of you can contact me. But having said that, I want to thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be part of this very important and unique teleconference. I want to know if the organizer will agree to pass the buck back to Brother Nafashiki Kone, if it's okay, or if he wants me to just keep on until we conclude, I'll also do that. So it's up to you, Mr. Organizer.
Excuse me, Mr. Organizer, can I come in, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Abu Beladu from Philadelphia.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to ask 3 questions, please, before anything. This pledge is only about the journalist or any other person can pledge?
No, anybody can pledge.
All right, thank you very much.
So are you making a pledge of $500 or $200 or $100? Which one?
Yeah, I'm trying to make a pledge, but not right now. I'm still trying to learn more before I can come in.
Okay, my brother.
Yeah.
Take your time.
All right, thank you very much. This is Abu Beladu from Philadelphia.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Hello? This is not good. Actually, in Musu's case here, I understand, people want to pledge 1 or 2 things, and only God knows how many of the pledges will be redeemed. I think for a more durable contribution, I think if people can work things out so that within even 3 or 4 months, a deadline can be set. Within 3 or 4 months, let us see some part of Musu's work out, and then encourage people. There can be a trust fund or whatever established, working with those who are close to Musu, so that once the work of Musu is put together, that can become a lasting memory, and anyone at just any time can buy X number of copies to be able to give copies to other people as gifts. And that particular money is real money. That particular money is real money. So for some of us, that's what we are thinking about. That's why, because, one could pledge $150, one could pledge $100. But like I said, I can almost bet that only a few of these pledges will be redeemed. But if the books are there, and then there is always the awareness, publicizing the fact that some of Musu's work has been put into a book form, I think that will be able to really serve as a lasting tribute to her, and so that we make sure that the memory continues to be fresh. It's not going to be like a year from now. We can set up 4 months, 5 months to get Musu's work out and let people contribute by buying those. That will be a lasting testimony to her own contribution, to her own life and work while she lives on earth.
Thank you, Prof. Good suggestion. I'm sure the organizers will consider that, because that is very instructive, so that we can have some concrete way forward in how we raise money.
Yes.
Musu's work. So thank you, sir. Connie, you want to comment on that? Brother Connie, you want to comment on that?
Yeah, what Prof is saying, it makes sense, but we should still give people opportunity that want to make any pledge.
Okay.
Yeah, what he says, it makes perfect sense. But if people still want to pledge anything, let us give them the opportunity to do so.
Okay. This is Fasuko. Can I make a comment?
Yeah, Brother Fasuko, go ahead, sir.
Yeah. I also just want to let the audience know that, like Brother Vasiki said earlier, there were pledges done earlier from the end of Boston by Joe Batua, led by Joe Kerr. And most of the journalists, including a couple of journalists online now, were part of those pledges. Did contribute, including some of us. Rufina also did. So I just want to let the audience know that, and also we are still open to future pledges and donations. We will still, identify with whatever pledges that will come, especially towards literary work and other things like foundations. I just want to make that clear. Because for me, I personally also consider myself as being part of the family, the bereaved family, apart from being a colleague journalist to the late Musu Haddad. She and I traveled to Liberia. We were there the whole while before I came back here, and we traveled to Lofa. We worked together extensively. So I just wanted to put that in.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
So I would suggest that it's about 5 minutes to 8 o'clock. Give ourselves maybe 10 more minutes. If we can't get any more pledge for anyone, then we can just conclude the program by 8:10. That is 10 minutes after 8 o'clock.
Okay. So far, we have three. Let's say 4 pledges. Musa Fofana, Jerry Williams, Jay Nyanko Azizi, Brother Abu Belete is considering his pledge. He hasn't decided what amount to pledge, and I've also pledged $100. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pledges so far. So if we can have more pledges, on top of what Professor Nangbe said, we can also follow up eventually after this teleconference with those who want to contribute to the publication of Musu's work, and always contact the organizer. So it's an ongoing process, and I agree with Prof. Nangbe, it's an ongoing process. So up to 8:10, we will still keep the line open for pledges so that we conclude the event this evening.
Let them pass.
Come again? Who was it? Was somebody saying something?
Yes, me.
That's Prof. Nangbe?
That was background noise.
Oh, okay.
This is Musa. Can I say something?
My family and I, $150.
Is this Prof. Nangbe?
Yes, $150, and you all can send me the address by which the amount will be sent.
Okay, Prof. You said $150, right, sir?
Yes, $150.
Okay, sir. Got it.
Wow, this is Musa. Can I say something?
Is it Musa Fofana?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I believe, like we all know, they said that a lot of people are sitting here now trying to reflect and see how much they're going to donate or, let's say, contribute or something. So I think it will be in the best interest if the organizers can come up with at least 1 or 2 phone numbers and, announce that, so that maybe if anybody considering, anything later on, can call those numbers and then make their pledge or whatever. And also, like these pledges that are being made right now, in as much as we understand that there's also another collection going on somewhere, but I believe this broader audience now, I think you guys need to come up with at least 1 or 2 persons to whom these pledges can be paid to, and should in case someone try to remake these payments. So that's just the suggestion I wanted to bring up.
All right. I would suggest that Dennis' job number and Fazukwe number should be made available to people to be able to call after this program in case they want to make any pledge or make any contribution to this whole, donation program. So Dennis?
978.
All right.
726. 6965.
Did everybody get that?
Yep.
All right, Fatukwe, you can also, give your number to the people, those that would be interested in sending any donation can call you, so you can get it from there.
It is 952 212 1420.
So that's the person the pledges will be made it to, right?
Yeah.
Pasukwe.
Okay.
James Pasukwe here.
Hello, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask a question because I'm a little confused. When Joe Batua and Joe Ted had the first meeting, the reason for that meeting was different from what's happening on this line right now, so we need some clarification. That first collection was to be sent to the family to assist with the burial of Musu, and the way they had it planned, the money was to be collected before her funeral. Now, this seems to be something different, as Joe Batua and Joe Ted are not here. Is it the same thing? Because I think we need to draw a line. Are we still sending it to the family? Are we still, or are we trying to publish her works? Because when Joe Batua's number was given, his checking account was given, it was to send money to the family so that we help them with the funeral arrangements for Musu. So we're still using Joe Batua's bank account information. Is it still part of the same plan? Is this something new?
No.
This was something that another group was supposed to be doing. I just need to have some clarifications about it, that's all.
No, it is unfortunate that Joe Batua is not on the line tonight. In order for our discussion, we said that we were not going to duplicate any function of donation. Then they already started that, and some of our members already made some contribution to that. We expected that Joe Batua would have been here tonight so that the donation will continue with him. Okay? Because he said that whatever money they collected was a portion of the amount that was pledged by people. Not everyone that pledged that time have up to this point under their, pledged. So we expected him to be here tonight. So whatever that is generated from previous pledges from people and this one, I think it's the same.
When you said the same, just to follow up for Rufina's question, when you say the same, is it going to the family directly? Is that what you're saying?
Because that was the reason for the first collection. It was to be sent to the family. So if you continue along that line, it means that the money you're collecting now, you're collecting for the family. But I'm also assuming that we have the permission of the family to produce Musu's work.
All right. We understand that Musu's the son Marcos. There's a program set up by Mr. Kenneth Best in Morovia to encouraging people to donate money to his school, and we really haven't thought out clearly what is to be done with further collection. All right, and that is something that we all can come out with plan later on, whether to be given to the family or to be given to Marco, who is going to school now. That's why I'm saying that it is unfortunate that Joe Batua is not here tonight. He could have really, really spoken on the aspect of donation, how much he has already collected, and how much is still out from those people that pledged. So I really have no idea. Our interest is not about the money. Our interest is to just give some longevity, some remembrance to Musu's work. Okay, so we believe that whatever donation that we are asking people to make right now is in line with the same donation that started by Joe Batua and other people.
What I would suggest, Brother Kone, as a follow-up, because one thing that we encourage those who are listening right now and those who have already contributed or pledged to contribute is the accountability aspect of this whole thing. So to keep this encouragement and this enthusiasm going forth, I would suggest that subsequently maybe through our usual medium of communication to update those who are on the line, maybe the general public, on what we're going to do with this money, what are we going to decide the need that exists right now, whether for Marco or whether for the publication of the book. The Prof alluded to that. Some pledges have not come in since they were made, so this issue of pledging and not fulfilling will be an issue I see in the future. But I think it would be good to have a follow-up communication to all of us and those who may have the desire to pledge as to what this money going to be used for, whether it's for the family or for Marco or for the publication. Then we know, but the public will know exactly where the money is going for accounting purposes. That would be a good thing.
Okay. Good. All right.
Yeah. Okay, it's 4 minutes after 8. We have 6 minutes left for this virtual teleconference. We should be concluding by now. Since we're not hearing pledges, I assume that we aren't going to get any pledges now. But that does not mean people will not pledge in the future. Now that they have Brother Fasique's number and Brother Dennis Jaz's number. I think for me, my duty has ended. So, Brother Okone, I thank you. I'm going to turn anything back over to you. Once the 6 minutes pass, we'll be done. So, thank you for giving the opportunity. I'm giving it back to you now, Mr. Okanasa, for the concluding aspect of this conference. Thank you so much.
All right. Dennis, you want to say something?
Yes, I was simply saying that we'll be following up. We've gotten all the suggestions. We'll be following up with all of you, both concerning the books and other further discussion. Fasuque is always in touch with the family and everyone else, so we're going to be following up, and you will be duly informed either via email or through the same line so that we can keep our Musu dreams alive. Thank you very much.
Yes, hello?
Yeah.
Yes.
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 I'm calling Miguel, yes?
Okay.
All right. Thanks everyone so much for coming, and I think we've reached to the conclusion of this program tonight. We appreciate you coming.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, I'm Ruth again. And Batua and his friends have sent some money here just before the funeral. He actually sent some money. And we also in contact with him and fasting always. Yeah, the only thing is I already wanted the names of the friends, but I only remember Joe Batua. I can't really remember the other names. I asked him to send the names. He promised, but I think he forgot. Maybe they are listening. I would like to tell them thank you on behalf of the family.
This is the big sister calling from Liberia. Musu Haddad, big sister on the line from Liberia. That was all speaking, yes.
All right, Mr. Moderator Kafuma Kuma, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to have this program here tonight.
Hello?
Yeah.
Excuse me, can I ask a question very quick? This is Musu Haddad, your sister.
All right.
I did have another conference call because I received 2 different times. One said 9 o'clock, one said 6 o'clock. Or it's just the same thing?
No, for this program we have tonight?
Yeah, because I received 2 different texts from 2 different numbers. No. One said 9 and one was from her friend Jim something from Minnesota said 6. So after this, are they having another one?
No, after this, there's no other program.
This is the same. It was going to be 6 o'clock Eastern time, and then it will be 5 o'clock Minnesota time. That's what I meant.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so we would like to extend our thanks and appreciation to the moderator of the Liberian Diaspora Forum. When we suggested to you to have this program, we were always skeptical about the possibility, because usually all the programs you have here is political, talking about political issues in Liberia. But we suggested to you that we're going to talk about a Liberian writer and her works. And you were very skeptical to see whether people would turn out for that. But we are very surprised to see that 300 and plus people were able to tune into this program. I think we have to give the audience a round of applause for that, for responding to our call. And we just let you, the moderator, to have the last word, saying it is your show. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you. I want to thank each and everyone for being here. I'm really honored that we had the first of this kind of event on the Liberian Diaspora Forum. I certainly hope that it's not the last one. Let it be the beginning, but not the end. So we are honored, and we were delighted to have worked with you to make it happen. Just so those of you who were with us last week, we heard from Judge Melvin Johnson, and that audio is already up on YouTube. You need to go hear that. 55 of you have already listened to that. We'd like to invite you to tune in tomorrow, same time, 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, to have Ellie Cockro's lawyer talked about the counter lawsuit against the Liberian government for defamation of character. So we invite you to tune in tomorrow. From our end, that does it. Once again, I'm honored. I'm delighted to be part of this. I did not know Musu Haddad, but I've learned a lot about her tonight, and I certainly hope to learn a lot more as you guys plan to publish some of our writings. I look forward to that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't even know what it was.